fade and graphic.
No.
Ready, camera 2.
3, 2,
Lower graphic.
1.
Music. Fade. Put in.
Luther, and welcome to Game Changers, a show where we interview prominent video game critics and get the latest scoop on what's new in gaming. So we're joined here today by Connor Notabot, our resident PlayStation expert, to talk to us about the new Spider-Man game on PS4. So Marvel's Spider-Man was developed by Insomniac Games, who you might recognize as the developers of Spyro the Dragon and Ratchet & Clank, a couple of PlayStation classics. So let's go ahead and take a look at the opening of the game right now.
38, 37.
SWAT is 1084 at Fisk
30.
Tower. All units stand by. Warrant is en route.
25. 20. 15. 14. 13. 12. 11.
Fade
Go
out.
ahead.
Graphic. Fade in. Camera 2.
Well, I really like that scene. I don't know about you, Connor.
I really do enjoy that because it really throws you into the action right away. You go straight from that cutscene. We cut it a little bit early, but you go straight into web swinging, and it shows you how to do it. It's very simple, but yes, very, very cool way to open up the game and put you right into the action.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about the most important part of any game, really, at least in my opinion. I'm sure you probably agree. It's the gameplay.
Yes, definitely. So my favorite part of the gameplay is obviously the web swinging and the combat, but the web swinging is really fun
3
because
minutes.
you have lots of momentum, and depending on how you swing, if you let go of it earlier or let it go later, you might go higher in the air or go forward faster, can pull yourself using your webs, just a lot of different combos, I would say, that you could use, and it's just really fun, and I don't really feel the need to do anything else in the game except just flying around as
22,
Spider-Man.
21.
Well, what about like the
19,
fighting?
The fighting?
The combat.
The combat is pretty good. At the beginning, I found it a little bit frustrating because I didn't have as many gadgets, and it seemed a little bit harder, but the more you go on, it gets easier because you get access to more gadgets and web shooting abilities. That's mainly what it is. I like using the trip mine where it pulls people in with webs and sticks them to the wall. It's very fun to use.
Yeah, the gameplay is definitely really good.
Yep.
And then speaking of high points in the game, let's move on to the graphics.
The graphics, overall, I love the art style they went for with this game. I think that it's just the right blend of a comic/cartoonish vibe with the realistic. It feels like it could happen, but also it's not too real where it seems like crazy stunts are being pulled off in this game.
Sure, yeah. I would agree with that. So now, without getting into too many spoilers, let's try to talk about the story a little bit.
So the story sets us up, as we saw at the beginning, Spider-Man jumping out of a window. He's already established in this world. 7 or 8 years, I believe, he's been Spider-Man. And all of his villains are really mostly established. There are a couple that it seems like they're saving for a next installment of this game. But we have villains like Electro, Scorpion,
5,
Vulture,
4,
Rhino, certain other
2,
characters. Don't want to
1.
get too spoilery with this, but it also tackles Peter Parker's life too. It isn't just all about the amazing Spider-Man. It's also the real world deal.
Yeah. I think
1
that,
minute.
for me, one of my favorite parts was the Peter Parker points.
Yes,
'Cause
definitely.
you get more into like the deep like character arcs and
Yes.
stuff instead of just beating up criminals, which is pretty cool.
It's very relatable, you know, not as much as swinging around a city
45
from
seconds.
rooftop to rooftop.
Right, and so like, again, like you said, there's a lot of different villains, classic Spider-Man villains in
Yes.
there, but there's also, I don't want to, there's I think one new one, or I don't know if it's new to the game, but like it's not one that I
Like
knew
more,
of before.
maybe more B or
30
C list, not
seconds.
A list.
Okay, yeah, so it's like
necessarily,
it's like a
yes.
D, like C, D tier like villain that gets
Yeah,
brought into it.
I would definitely agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So now that we've heard what the experts have to say, we'd like to hear from you. Send your opinions to us on Twitter, Facebook, and any other social media accounts you
15
might have,
seconds.
and look forward to the next episode of Game Changers.
Fade off.